you doing, Brother Craig? How you doing? Good morning, my neighbors!
Microphone checker. 1, 2 checker. Yo, yo. Y'all funny already this morning. But welcome to Morning Motivation, your daily dose of inspiration and empowerment. I'm your host, Jamon, and I'm thrilled to have you join me as we kickstart our day with positivity and purpose. So whether you are here to seek motivation, like-minded individuals, or to simply get your day started on the right foot, you've come to the right place. And as you're coming in the door, go ahead and hit that like button. Let me know you're here. Say hello and say good morning, because we from the South, y'all. Those of you who are from the South, and if you're not from the South, say it anyway. I promise, it'll make you feel good. And if you're just passing through, what's good? How y'all feeling this morning? D-Rob said, living the dream, I guess. Oh yeah, I definitely have been there. Shout out to Toronto Riggins, Auntie Canada's in the building. That chick, yo. D-Rob training.
How you doing, Brother Craig?
Brother Craig. Yo, it's Monday morning, man. And we are continuing with our series on bouncing back after setbacks. And today we're talking about that culture. And is culture making us soft? And for many people, that answer is 100%, 1,000% yes. 1,000% yes. And for others, nah, it's good. I'm stronger than I ever been. And so what we're getting into today is we're talking about that growth mindset. The growth mindset, because life, as somebody so eloquently put in the chat this morning, Auntie Canada, enjoying this journey called lifing. Because life be lifing all the time. D-Rob got a little rest, but had some family come to town. But now you back to the grind again. That's the way it go. And so whenever we go through changes, or let's even go back further, whenever we set an intention to do a thing, or we create a new workout regimen, a new diet plan, a new whatever, start a new job, or start looking for a new job, the moment we start to chase our dreams, there's a disruption that happens in our life. Our thought process gets interrupted. What was normal now becomes a hindrance to us. Old habits, they hold us back from this new journey. And so we have to get through that minutia, that old programming, to truly become the new person, the new version, achieve the new dream. And that what lies the problem. Because sometimes we get into a fixed mindset where, because things are good in this period, we get stuck there and we think that it's supposed to always be this way. There's not going to be any challenges. There's not going to be any problems. It's going to always be this way. But that's not the case. That is rarely the case. Because the moment you That chick yo says, "See y'all later. I guess I'm stepping on some toes this morning." Don't leave us yet, sis. Come on, come on, cousin. Don't leave us. Stay with us. Stay with us. Hang in there with us. Hang in there with us. I promise. I know it's tough, but I promise you, on the other side of this, on the other side of not this show, but on the other side of this part of life, this portion of your story, your journey, you're going to be glad, man, I'm glad I hung in there for at least another 20 minutes because I got something from it. And y'all know I don't come on here and I talk about, oh, you got training. Oh, shout out. What on? Wait. Got training. Okay. Well, good luck to you. Congratulations. Have a growth mindset today. Have a growth mindset. Appreciate you locking in for a few minutes this morning. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you on Wednesday. So, yeah, we get locked into this pattern. And it makes us stagnant. And so then we start looking for protection, this little bubble to where we can feel comfortable or safe or happy or whatever, that feeling is that we in particular look for. And so now everyone gets a trophy. If I participated, I should get a trophy, right? If I'm a part of the team, I should win a MVP or an all-conference trophy. I can't get those. Those are really, okay. How about I get a participation trophy? I need something to put on my wall. Yeah, we won the championship. I sat on the bench all year and I didn't have come to practices, but I should win something too, right? That is the mindset that when we are looking for safety without the work, without having to put in the work. It's like the argument between, who's the GOAT? Jordan, LeBron, Bill Russell, Magic. Who's the GOAT? And every conversation, the goalposts move just a little bit. The measurements are changed just a little bit to fit whatever the narrative is on this particular day. Whatever the narrative is on that particular day. We do that in life. I'm not going to get into that conversation, so y'all can pump your brakes. I'm just throwing it out there as a little fodder, just a little bait, just a little chum to get the thoughts going. So we started this conversation just because the last year, this show started September 13th last year, and I was in a much different place last year than I'm currently in. Last year, I was a happy renter. My income was a certain level. My wife's income was a certain level. We had our bills set up a certain way. We were able to do things and we were just comfortable. It was a good place to be in, even though we wanted more. And then we dared to dream for more. We started making steps to achieve more. And in the process of us doing that, we brought a lot of disruption into our life. Because now we have to tighten up. We can't spend. We got to improve credit. We have to do all these things to measure up, to qualify during this home buying process. And we go through the sacrifices. We go through that period. We go through looking for a house. We find a house. We go through the bank's examination of our credit worthiness, financial worthiness and ability to pay. And we get approved. We move in. We buy new furniture. We're getting used to a new route to work. I mean, there's disruption everywhere. And then life still throws more and more stuff. It's like it never stops. Then my mom goes into the final stages of her battle with cancer, and she goes into hospice and end up moving in. We moved her in with us. During that time, I'm watching her health decline. That's causing a strain in the household because we're walking on eggshells, just trying to make sure that we can give her the best quality. And then in all of that, my father passes. Unexpectedly, we thought he'd be around for at least a couple more years. And that was some low moments, you know. And then my youngest son graduates from high school. That's a high moment. Work is crazy. All over the place. I mean, literally working 85, 90 hours a week. Some old habits. The old normal was not working in this new phase. We taking some trips. We incur a little bit more debt. And then I dare to change jobs. I dare to step out there and chase the dream fully. Another disruption. Another disruption. And then my mom passes. Another disruption. But yet, I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm still inspiring. I'm still motivating. I'm still chasing my dreams. And I get the question, bro, you still getting up? Oh, so but you down to 2 days a week now, but you was doing it before all this. How are you still doing this, man? I don't have a choice. It's what I'm called to do. And the moment I let myself get stuck here is the moment everything falls apart. And so I watched a movie last week called Inside Out 2. And never fully watched 1. So I thought, you know, my wife and my daughter was watching it. So I figured I'd sit there for a few minutes while I was eating dinner, and then I'll come upstairs and get back to work. I ended up watching the whole movie, and that movie truly is life-changing. So if you have not seen Inside Out, watch 1 and 2. I haven't watched 1 yet, but 2 for sure. 2 applies to you. 2 100% applies to you. It's about a little girl named Riley, and she struggled with anxiety. Before she was getting ready to go into high school, and she was a star hockey player. She had 2 really good friends. She had started establishing who she was in life. And now she's leaving middle school, going to high school. That's a stressor. She's getting ready, and now she just finds out that her 2 best friends are going to a different high school than she is. She's going to be alone. That's second stressor. She got to make new friends. And so now she's on the way to this hockey camp with her friends, and they're saying, you know, one last time on the ice together. And she gets there, and their idols, their heroes are there. And now she's having to choose between the heroes and the friends. And anxiety is building, and stress is building, and all these other characters. I think it was, wait a minute. Let me see. Can I throw it on the screen real quick? There we go. We got all these characters here. The sadness, joy. Joy was running the show, and Joy was putting all the bad memories all the way to the back of her mind. And so all she had was the good memories to dwell on, because Joy was getting rid of the bad memories. And then anxiety comes in, and she finds out really quick that her roots aren't deep enough, because there is no bad experience to balance the good experiences. So now everything is catastrophic. She got into a fixed mindset. So today we're talking about that growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. And the question that I asked is culture making you soft? So I want to start by asking y'all this question. Actually, you know what? Disregard that. I'm going to ask you that question in a few minutes. Excuse me. Growth mindset. Maybe I will ask a question. What's your idea of growth mindset? Think about your life. Think about where you are right now. Think about how you identify as a person. You know, the things you're good at, the dreams you aspire to. Really think about it. And then ask yourself, why do I want those things? Not to put in the chat, but just to ask yourself, why do I want those things? And most times it's going to come down to because it'll make me happy. It'll make me feel safe. It'll make me feel something. That's generally what it comes down to with our hopes and our dreams. D-Rob says growth mindset. He says it's getting over bad habits and creating new habits. Mentality. Yes. Growth mindset really is a mentality. It makes total sense. Growth mindset is definitely a mentality. Y'all remember this quote? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. By Dr. Wayne Dyer. That is growth mindset. And sometimes the way we do a thing, in the mentals. The way, it's like what it took for you to get to a certain level only serves you till it gets to that level. Trying to get to the next level with that same mentality most times won't work. And in life, when it comes to your mental, there is no shortcut. There is no cheat code. Well, there is. We call them therapists. We call them psychologists, because there may be something going on in your mind that's causing you to not grow. And sometimes those things got to be unpacked. Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance that needs to be addressed before you can truly grow into where you need to go for that next level. But in most cases, the mindset that got us to a place only carries us to that place. To get to a new place, that mentality has to grow. It has to change. Your aversion to fear and risk has to change. Freedom isn't free. Safety comes at a price, meaning everything in life costs something. Auntie Canada says defeating doubt and overcoming bad mindset. When you have a passion that will not let you stop, but it keep pushing you to move forward, so you have to grow. Yeah, well, the hope is that you grow, but sometimes more than not, we get stuck. We get stuck. And I talk about like the people that I grew up with, people that know me. I'm still, for the most part, the same person that I was back once upon a time. But I went through a phase where I was just mean. And when I say mean, I chose to be mean. Because I thought that was the only way people would understand not to play in my face, basically. It was the only way I thought I could earn respect. If I say I'm going to do a thing, I will do that thing. And I didn't care what it was. It could have been climbing to the top of the monkey bars or slapping fire out somebody. If I told you I was going to do it, I was going to do it. And sometimes I would egg it on because I thought in order for me to get from this place to where I felt insignificant to this place up here where I felt respected, I thought I had to go above and beyond. I had to be the most courageous, the most daring, the most fearless, the most crazy, if you will. I've said it recently. You're not gonna out crazy me, because I don't have a point where I'm gonna stop. I'll go until I run out of gas, and I got a big tank. So it's like, and I want to caution. I don't want you to think that I'm trying to pump myself up about what I used to be and why I do what I do. That's not it. What I'm saying is, I had a growth mindset that always made me go north. But it was so filled with bad habits, so filled with bad things that when I did get there, I'd always get stuck. And I couldn't get to the next level because those behaviors, they hamstrung me. They put me in a place where I couldn't go any further. I maxed out. And had I got stuck in that place, you guys wouldn't know me. You guys wouldn't see me. Or you probably see me on the 5 o'clock news. My passion, Auntie Candace said, my passion for my women's group pushes me to grow because of the hunger that these ladies have. Growing from 15 to over 25 women in my group, it definitely pushes me. Every woman in my group is grateful. Awesome. Awesome. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. The things that we want in life, the goals that we set in life, it requires a new level of growth. And sometimes that growth is in empathy. If you want to be happy in a relationship, the number one thing you must have is empathy. You have to understand that this person is not you. This person don't have your history, don't have your experiences. They see things the way they see things. And you have to understand that they're on a growth journey as well. So you have to develop empathy. D-Rob said, I'm stuck right now. I love coaching, but there's something else I want to do that I feel is my calling. And that's working in a rec or community center helping kids that may not have a male figure. That's a shout out to their dream. That's a great dream because it's needed. But you have to understand also, D-Rob, let's think about a superhero. Somebody that's mythical. When you think about a Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, I mean, all of them, they all have the same story. Every hero has a journey that they must go on. Every hero has a journey that they must go on. Because right now, D, I called you D. I'll never call you D. I'm listening to Auntie Canada. Auntie Canada voice just popped into my head. Understand this, man. In order to have the impact that I say I believe you want to have, now you can start working in the community centers, in the rec centers right now. Just grab a regular 9 to 5, and it'll give you time to be in those spaces right now. And you can help, a kid here, a kid there. And that's an honorable thing. It's a very honorable thing. But at a point, you're going to go through an experience because, remember, we're always growing. We're always changing. And so right now, your story, your journey hasn't been long enough for you to be fulfilled on the inside, before you to fully recognize who you are. There's an arc that you must go through before you can become the person that you want to become, before you can have the influence that you need to have. Because look at it like this. If you look at what Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is doing right now. The only reason he's where he is right now is because of his journey. Because of his journey. He was respected on that journey. And because he was respected on that journey, he got opportunities that you or me maybe never would have gotten. And he's been able to climb the ladder quickly. And because he is who he is, he still did it the right way. He started coaching at every level. And he has success at every level because he understands the game. He understands people. He loved his kids. And now he's able to influence kids not only in his program. He's influencing kids through the media. He's influencing kids through his programs. He's influencing children through the news media who watch him have success. He's influencing these kids through social media. He's only reaching here, but their reach is being pushed out all over here. And so now he's making a much bigger impact. And so now when the kids, if they're going to listen to, what's my man name? Kodak. If they're going to listen to Kodak, but they're going to also listen to Coach Prime. They're going to listen to Sexy Red, but they also going to listen to Coach Prime because he's in a higher stratosphere than they are, but he's actually talking about the right thing, doing the right thing. And so it really comes down to impact, the impact that you want to have. And so part of that is understanding that the journey that you're on, you're going to have a bunch of experiences. You're going to deal with a lot of situations that you're not going to get if you're not there. And then when some young man come to you and they're struggling with something, instead of just having an idea of how to fix the problem, you have example after example, and you have more credibility because you've been doing it. Because you're doing that with what you're doing now. It's just not the easy path. Because there's structure, there's conformity, there's things you have to adapt to. But this is what's going to make you the man that you need to be truly, truly effective in that space. You are on your hero journey, my brother. You are on your hero journey. This journey is what's going to make you, transform you into the person. Now, that fixed mindset says, man, I don't need to do all this to help kids. So I'm going to just go back to Texas. I'm going to go get my old job back, and I'm going to just go volunteer in the community centers. And then one day I'll build my own. And that's a very noble thing to do. But what happens is you stunt your growth, because in the back of your mind, you're going to always say, man, I wonder what would have happened had I stayed. You don't know how many countless opportunities. I know. That's the way it is, man. That's the way it goes. And we get tested on our journeys. We get tested. But when you come back home as a hero, as succeeding, as accomplishing something that you set out to accomplish, you come back with a different confidence. You come back with more resources. You come back with a bigger network. And so now you just don't have words to give to these kids. You have a lot different cachet, swagger, pockets deeper. Yeah, listen to Dad. Said Mom said you can come back to Texas whenever. Dad said you better not have come back out there. Hey, bro, but it's the way it goes. And that's a great example of why you got to have balance in your life. Because mom is like the brain, right? The brain's job is to keep you safe, to keep you comfortable. And so the brain will let you develop bad habits. The brain will let you gain 80 pounds. The brain will let you be lazy. The brain won't hold you accountable. to a lot of things because its job is to keep you safe and to keep you happy. That's mom's job as well. But dad, shout out to the real pops out there.
The champ is here. The champ is here.
Shout out to the real pops out there because the pops is the wheel. I wish you would. I wish you would. Don't bring your no. You start it, you gonna finish it. You start it, you gonna finish it. Dad looks for the outcomes, the bigger pictures. And this comparison is only valid when you have two parents in the household most times. If it's a single mom or single dad, that line's gonna be blurred all the time. But when there's a mother in the household and there's a father in the household, or at least they're good co-parents, you're gonna have that balance because now the mother doesn't have to be anything but a nurturer. Because daddy's gonna make sure it stays straight. And mama's gonna say, you know what, I know what your daddy said, but baby, you can come home anytime you want to. But listen to your dad too, though. They complement each other. And the more struggles you go through, the more of your journey that you go on, the more qualified you are, the more you see, the bigger and better things become. So I want to let me put this little, y'all know I always got some kind of a story or some kind of a something going on in my life right now because it's just the way it goes. Oh, I ain't started the thing yet. Hold on, where you at? Get back about it at. Yeah, I woke up a little late this morning too, so let me back up out of that. All right, let me. Nope, that's not what I want. That's the wrong thing. The champ is here. All right. It's not recognizing my thing, man. Come on, bro. Why you doing me like that? Huh. Hate it when my technology quit on me the last second. I think it did a hard reset. We good now. Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to get to. All right. Growth mindset, fixed mindset. And so let's see if it won't work this time. Boom. All right, it's working. Ooh, that took too long. Let's disconnect you. I got all kind of stuff connecting right now. Let's see. So the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset is tricky because it's in a lot of ways it is the limiting center. It avoids the challenges. It gives up easily. It's threatened by other people's success. There's a desire to look smart. You ignore feedback. Absolutely hates criticism. You believe that your abilities are fixed. You believe that somebody else just has a more natural ability to do a thing than you. They're smarter. This is all I have to work with, so I'm gonna just be okay right here. And that's what the fixed mindset really teaches us. But the irony of it is the fixed mindset used to be the growth mindset. It just stopped growing. It got stuck. Meanwhile, the growth mindset is freedom. You persevere in the face of failures. The effort is required to build new skills, find inspiration in other success, embrace challenges, accept criticism, a desire to learn, and you build abilities. If I don't have it, I'm going to build it. Most of us lose out on good relationships or good opportunities, or we don't control our looks, our weight, because we have a fixed mindset. Well, this is how I've always eaten. My mama, she ate like this. My grandmama ate like this. My family, this is how we do. But you see everybody in your family is dying from high blood pressure. They're losing limbs to diabetes. Because the mindset is stuck. You get people making excuses for their shortcomings because nobody ever pushed them to do more. D-Rob will never be the excellent coach that he's going to be one day. He's never going to have the impact that he's supposed to have one day because his dad wasn't around. And so his mama said, come home. And he was like, all right, my mama, come to the house. And so because he's not growing, the growth muscle gets weaker and the failure muscle gets stronger. And now any new challenge comes up. I mean, I move back in with my mama. I ain't got to put up with this. And that's how it goes. And that's why so many people get stuck in life. They get rigid. They stop growing. They don't want to be criticized. They don't want no feedback. Because the way that they did it 10 years ago, how they found their success, guess what? Times have changed. People don't respond to that anymore. So if you're doing it to make an impact in a major way, you're probably going to have to change something. Probably. So that's the fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. And that's why I feel like society, the culture has made me a little weaker minded at times. Because I'll see somebody else who don't work as hard as my son or my daughter, and they'll get recognized. I'm like, why ain't you recognize my daughter? Why you recognize my son? Good question. D-Rob says, how do you know when you develop a growth mindset? Is it a feeling or will you just know? It's really evidence-based. When you develop a growth mindset, you won't even really notice it at first because you're too busy growing. You're too busy overcoming. And then you'll look back and you will see, man, I wanted to stop right here. I wanted to let it go right there, but I'm glad I didn't, because had I not kept going, I wouldn't have met this person. I wouldn't have had this opportunity. I wouldn't have met this group. I wouldn't have been invited to this space. And you understand, the older you get, there's never one thing in life that changes your life. It's a culmination of a bunch of different decisions. Just like the people that stuck. I used to be a hothead. I told y'all why too, because I wanted respect. I wanted to be understood and seen and appreciated. So I used to be a little bit of a hothead, and so I would do wild things. And so now imagine I have a son. Let's say my youngest son, because he's probably the most like me. He's quick tempered. He is a little bit of a hothead as well. Matter of fact, let me just show y'all what's happening. Y'all saw my son got a car back in July, right? Y'all remember that? I showed that episode. He got a car back in July. And this car is his life. It's his freedom. It's the key to his adulthood, his manhood, if you will. The boy loved the car. He watched it every other day. He got the windows tinted. I mean, he's living vicariously through all celebrities right now because he driving a Rolls Royce Phantom. He driving a Porsche 911. He driving a Roadster. I mean, he's driving any luxury car that's on the market. In his mind, his car is that. So can you imagine? Can you imagine what he feels like right now when he wake up and this happens? When you wake up and that happens. Now, he didn't hit nobody. Nobody didn't hit him. He didn't hit nobody. Nobody didn't hit him. A really wild thing happened. He's mad. He is ticked. We'll get back to that one later. But he is furious. He had a incident maybe a month ago where his tire went flat on him. And he went and put air in it, but the air was just slow leaking right back out. And he got stranded somewhere. He called me, and so I drive up to check on him. And as we look at it, we realize, yo, your rim is cracked, my guy. You ain't got no slow leak in your tire. Your rim is cracked, so it's not holding the air that it's supposed to hold. So he's asking me, so what am I supposed to do about that? I said, well, you probably need to call or go by a tire shop. We're gonna put this spare on there now. And he want to put the spare on the front. No, you can't put the spare on the front. You got to put the spare on the back, which means you got to take the good tire off the back and put it up front. He was like, oh, that's extra work. I said, when you stop, do you want to stop? When you hit the brake, do you really want your car to stop? He's like, why can't you just put it on the front? So I had to explain to him why you couldn't put the spare tire on the front. He said, oh, okay, I get it. So I helped him, but I made him do everything. I got the jack stand, we got the lug wrenches, we got everything. And I help him, I go under, I get on the ground, I show him, all right, you wanna make sure it's on this bracket right here. You wanna make sure you loosen the lug nuts before you get the tire off the ground complete. I mean, I'm going through all the steps with him. He get it done. He goes to a tire shop and we talking about getting a new rim. But they say, you know what, we can weld it. And I forgot about that. They can weld your rim to keep the seal. So they go and they start welding his rim, get it right, put the tire on. I see the guy, he's rolling, he's looking good, back on the road. Then he calls me last week. He FaceTimes me. And if he FaceTimes me in the middle of the day, it's something he really want me to see. So he's like, Pop, you ain't gonna believe this. I said, what's up? He said, I'm coming down the street. He said, I go to turn and my whole wheel comes off. And I'm now stuck in the middle of the road. My whole wheel comes off and I'm stuck in the middle of the road. And at that time I hear people saying, hey man, you all right? You all right? And so I'm in the city with him at this time. Normally I would be gone somewhere, but I'm there. But I'm getting ready to go into a meeting. So I'm like, okay, do I cancel my meeting and go make sure he's good, or do I stay on FaceTime and let him figure it out? Y'all know what I did, right? I stayed on FaceTime and let him figure it out. Why? Because as a father, it's my job to make sure he understands how to handle situations. And I get a rare privilege of watching him handle a situation. And so I'd ask the question, I said, make sure you ask this, make sure you check for that. And he's asking the questions because he's mad. You got to understand, this car was everything to him. He's mad. He's trying to regulate his emotions. He's angry. And then he got to be an adult and answer questions and ask questions and get understanding. And I watched him go through this emotional roller coaster. Pop, can you just come down? Nope. You got to take care of it, son. I can't get there in time. This meeting's been put off 3 times. This is my last chance to have this meeting. I can't walk away. You're okay. You just got to ask the questions. You a grown man now, son. You can handle this, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. So you need to ask this question. Make sure you get this confirmation, and then send me pictures of everything. So that's what he did. And so after that, well, actually, I talked to the guy. I know this is how God work again, right? He turns, the wheel comes off. The wheel goes right into the parking lot of a rim shop, which is right next to a tire shop. So the guy came out there with his floor jack, got him out the road, everything. So I went by the tire shop after my meeting, talked to the guy, found out what, from his perspective, what happened. And so I broke him off a little something for getting my son out the street. Then I went and checked on my son. And as I'm looking at the car, and based on what the guy tells me, he said, "Hey man," he said, "I don't know who messed with his tire last, but they didn't put the lug nuts back on good." And so basically, what happened is the lug nuts, it warped the holes in the rim. So y'all see, this is where the lug nut comes through the rim. So it actually warped it. So now it's not a secure fit once you put the lugs back in, which caused the stud to break and the tire, the lug nuts to work their way off, and studs to break, which is why and how the tire came off. So D-Rob, how do you know? How do you develop a growth mindset? Is it a feeling or just something you know? I realized in that moment I had a growth mindset because the people that welded his rim didn't do their job. And because they didn't do their job, they could have killed my son. And God forbid he had anybody else in the car with him. God forbid he was on the highway doing 60, doing 70, and your doggone tire comes off because somebody didn't do their job to make sure that the tire was seated properly before they let that car down. Because my mindset was a growth mindset, I let my son grow. I didn't solve the problem. I didn't go to the tire shop and go off like I would have done once upon a time. I'm not the same person I used to be because I make small decisions every opportunity to grow my mind, to make it less rigid, to make it less fixed, and like this is the way it's always going to be. And when the good times came, when the successes came, I didn't rest there and say, I got it made now. No such thing as I got it made. Because life has taught me that you only rest for a second. And then once you get to the top of that mountain, you got to go down to the valley to get to the next mountain. That's how it works. But if you decide you want to stay on top of that mountain, you decide you want to quit and go back to the crib, you decide that you don't want to go through whatever trouble this relationship is, you decide, whatever you decide, you are putting yourself in a fixed mindset. Life is about growth. It's about overcoming. There is no such thing as security, not without sacrifice. There is no such thing of freedom without of something to fight for. The question I was going to ask you guys earlier is this. What is it about America that makes us one of the best nations in the world? Do you guys know? You have any thoughts on that? What is it about America that makes us one of the greatest nations on the planet? Does anybody have any thoughts or ideas about that? what has made America the nation that it is? And I know that's a loaded question, but just philosophically or theoretically, what in your mind makes America the nation that people want to come to? People are fleeing, risking life and limb to get here. Why are people doing that? Yeah, D Rob says, but it was a blessing. The kids love me out here. I was gone for a week and was getting messages from the athletes all week. Coach, where you at? I miss you, coach. It's like, whoa. Yeah, because you're making an impact. You're making a difference in their lives. You're becoming a part of their story. Yeah, oh wow, man. For me, and I think I have a little bit of a unique perspective, it's because I did serve in the military, and yeah, militarily we have probably one of the most terrifying, probably one of the most terrifying military forces in the world. We can inflict a lot of damage if in a fight. I mean, we're the only nation that's ever dropped an atomic bomb on another country. So I mean, that alone tells you. But it's something more than that. So they were fed with the word that this is the land of dreams. Yeah, exactly. The land of opportunity. The land of opportunity. Understand this: if you live in a third world country, you don't have a lot of um, freedom to do like you have in the U.S. There's corruption in every government. There's corruption in every organization. There's always somebody looking up, seeing that the money ain't being handled right. The politics is off. I mean, there's always a finger that you can wag at any organization. But in the U.S., we have the ability to self-determine. If you grew up in a communist country, then you don't have that right. You are assigned a job. You are assigned living quarters. You are assigned things. You issued a stipend from the government for your livelihood. You can't go out and decide I want a pay raise or I'm going to start a business. It don't work that way in dictatorships mostly. That's the idea of a republic, a democracy, meaning you get to determine the destiny of your life, the direction of your life. You in a democracy, you can decide I want to be this and then change that in 2 years and decide to go be something else. You're not pigeonholed into being anything except what you want to be. And so you fight for that right. You fight for the right to self-determine. You fight for the right to be what you want to be. And I think people have forgotten that because we've had it so, our influence in this country is so broad that I'm thinking because I want to say this carefully. Our influence around the world has made us, we don't have to go out and we don't see the other side of the coin, basically, is what I'm saying. We see news stories and we see things and it go on one ear and out the other. And so people are risking life and limb to get here just so they can have a choice in their life. And the people that come here, they're coming for the competition. I just want to compete. I want the opportunity to compete, to be the best barber, to be the best tailor, to have the best shop or store so I can provide for my family. First, I want to be able just to have it. And then when I get it, I want to be the best. Because the better I am, the higher quality of life I can give my family. Everybody don't get a trophy. People don't get a team. And if you get a team, it's the national team. But you don't get to decide. You don't get to go out there and do some of the things you want to do. So that's the thing that really made America great initially. Well, in the eyes of the rest of the world, but large variety of portion of the country, America's never really been great. I mean, it's history in murder, theft, slavery. I mean, it's like, So it's a very loaded question. But the concept of America, the idea of America is a great idea. But having a growth mindset, a perpetual growth mindset, is going to keep you mentally strong, mentally sharp. And when the wave comes and it changes, you'll be able to ride that wave a lot better than a person who just anchored down and they built their house on this sand. And when that sand moves, the house is going to go away with it too. So what y'all think? Is culture making us soft? Is society making us weak-minded? What do y'all see in y'all everyday lives? Are people just sitting around waiting for somebody else to do stuff? Or are they actively out there doing stuff? America has definitely been known as the land of opportunity. And that really is no lie. D-Rob says social media is definitely a part of it, for sure. For sure. It's so easy to fake it. It's so easy to clout chase. Somebody does one thing that requires attention and you go on YouTube and you see 20 million people, YouTubers, talking about that one story for weeks. For weeks. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody got their own experts. I mean, people in the US, in America, can get famous for just clout chasing. I guess that's a skill too. I don't know. But the culture, we're living in a kind of an upside down culture now. Because it don't take brain power to consume. Not really. It takes a lot of brain power to create. It takes a lot of brain power to think. But most people don't really think. They just consume. They live vicariously through other people's dreams instead of chasing their own. Because they have a fixed mindset. And this person is the end all be all. This person has all the answers. I want to follow this person. It definitely depends on the individual mindset. D-Rob said, I got off Facebook and Twitter because of the negativity. Yeah, there's a lot of that happening, man. There's a lot of that happening. And that is the pervasive thing right now. My wife just told me about kudzu. Y'all know what that is? We're going to talk about it next time. Because next time we dealing with the fear. The fear that cripples us and keeps us in this space where it's hard to bounce back. And so we're going to bring kudzu into the conversation at that point. But yeah, D, I understand, bro. I don't really do a lot of social media either because of the negativity. I didn't even do the YouTube stuff, right? But then I thought about it one day. I'm going into a fixed mindset. This is just the way it is. No, I need to change that. I need to be a light in that dark space. And I'm under no illusion that this channel was gonna blow up just because of the nature of the content. But what it will do is when somebody's out there struggling with something and they need somebody they can get some help from, they'll find this channel. They'll find these videos. That I am very sure of. Society and life just has a negative look on things. D-Rob says, women have naked people putting their life on social media, talking about how depressed they are. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't want to see that. Yeah, you know you're not wrong. Because it's validation. When a person talks about their misery, it validates somebody else. And they like and they understand. They form these clubs, these groups, this solidarity with one another. And instead of fixing the problem, instead of growing beyond the problem, they get stuck in it. They get fixed in it. And so because I refuse to live that way, I'm now able to teach my children how not to live that way. How to ask them the right questions, how to push them to think and to do more. And so now my son, we got up Saturday morning like 5:45 and drove 3 hours to get a rim. Drove back. He put it on. We drove off. He was wobbling. I blew the horn. Hey, you wobbling, boy? We looked at it. He ain't tightened him up good enough. So we tightened him up again. He had to go buy some more lug nuts. He's setting up, and he's paying for all of this stuff. I paid for the gas to get down there. But yeah, so next time, man, we're gonna be talking about the fear that's associated with it and how it holds us back. But hey, D-Rob, do your thing, bro. Have a great week. I'll definitely see you guys on Wednesday. Appreciate you. All right, man. Well, let's get ready to get up out of here. Yeah, we are over time right now, but this growth mindset conversation, it's a real thing. This fixed mindset, we get stuck and we don't even know we're stuck. We just know that we're comfortable, and now we're not comfortable, and we're just trying to find comfort again. Then we start developing fears, bad habits, and now anxiety creeps in. And anxiety is a monster. Anxiety will have you thinking you're having a heart attack. Oh, for sure. Anxiety is nothing to play with. And if you guys have seen the little cartoon Inside Out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Trying to get up out of here. There we go. But good show, man. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for stopping through and checking out your boy. Life is what we make it. And the moment we sit back and just allow things to happen, it's not going to happen for our good. We have to be intentional about the journey that we're on. And it has to be a journey that we want to be on. Because if we don't choose the journey, it will be chosen for us. So today's show has been about the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. And so we did more storytelling than actual nuts and bolts work today, but I still think it was good. A couple things that I wanted to touch on was how to reframe the failures, how to cultivate the positive self-talk, the gratitudes and the affirmations, all these things that we've been talking about for a year now. This is why. To keep us from getting stuck in a fixed mindset. Journaling, goal setting, all these things, mindfulness, are tools to keep us mentally fit and always ready. When the current change, we can flow with it and we don't get stuck. Because there isn't safety and freedom, they're illusions. Unless you're doing something to get them and you're constantly making adjustments, it won't last. It won't last. Times are going to change and what was working will stop working, and then you're going to be stranded. And nobody's coming to save you. Not for real. So, good show. Good show. If you know anybody who could use a little more than motivation, please send them this link. If you haven't liked, if you haven't commented or subscribed, it's never too late. You can do it on Wednesday, and you can like today, of course. Let me see where we are on our likes. We're good on our likes. We got a couple likes today. But seriously, in all seriousness though, I want you guys to stay in a growth mindset. It costs a little bit up front, but it's worth it. The fixed mindset costs you everything though. Your health, your peace, your happiness. Just because it worked once don't mean it's gonna continue to keep working. Matter of fact, it's not gonna continue to keep working. Technology is changing the world in our faces. The jobs that we can go get, AI is taking those jobs. It's wild. But life is changing right in front of our eyes, and if we're not changing, if we're not growing mentally, we're gonna get left behind, and I don't want that for you. But that's my time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your contributions to the show, and we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Be blessed. Let's get your day started off well. Peace.